This is episode number 8. Welcome guys to the Building Thriving Lifestyles podcast. I'm your host Eiki Ladottir and I love to grow better humans by challenging myself and others. On today's episode we're going to talk about sleep. Again, but this time we're going to talk about sleep for people who just can't get those 8 hours of unbroken sleep. Maybe you have kids, maybe you have work demands, maybe you have shift work or any other circumstances that just don't allow you to follow those general guidelines for sleep. It 100% has not gone past you. If you listen to any types of media, if you've read any of my blog posts previous to this one, you will know how important sleep is. If you do have any doubts, I'll make sure to link the posts below in my show notes. Well, why, if all of us agree that sleep is so important, why are we still failing at giving ourselves those 8 hours of sleep? Well, the most common struggle that I hear is that the circumstances simply just won't allow it. This is very true for those who work shift work, also for the working parents, for the fitness enthusiast that's trying to maintain a good output at work, but also their social schedule, their family schedule, the football drop-off, studying, maybe there's a new baby in the family, and possibly you're trying to work out before it gets boiling hot here in the UAE. Well, in this podcast, I'm going to share with you how you can navigate through having less than the one block of 8-hour window to sleep in. And we're going to talk about how you can make the most out of the little time that you have to sleep to get the most effective sleep for your productivity and your health. This is what I found, and this is really interesting. Did you know that there are 3 types of sleep schedule that you could be using, yet we're always talking about the 8-hour sleep schedule? So majority of people with normal work timings and stuff, they can do this monophasic sleep, which means you sleep in one unbroken long segment. That obviously doesn't work for everyone. That's why we're here. The second one is called a biphasic sleep schedule. So this means that you sleep in 2 blocks spread out through the day. This usually involves like a medium long segment, like 3 to 6 hours at night, and then a shorter segment somewhere in the hours between late morning and early afternoon, and this is called a biphasic sleep schedule. The third sleep schedule is called a polyphasic sleep schedule, and this means that you sleep in more than 2 segments spread out through the day. We're going to talk about a couple of different researched polyphasic sleep schedule that have been proven to help with productivity and just feeling more energized throughout the day. These 3 popular polyphasic sleep schedules have been researched and described. They're called the Uberman sleep schedule, the Everyman sleep schedule, and triphasic. And allow me to explain them very briefly. The Uberman sleep schedule involves about 6 20-minute naps spread over the course of the day. These naps are distributed relatively evenly, and they come up to the total of about 2 hours of sleep every day. This could be super relevant for the parent with a newborn child or for an endurance athlete during a competition, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend this super long term, but can be used in a place of a pinch where you need to get through the day. The Everyman sleep schedule, on the other hand, includes sleeping 3 to 4 hours a night and then taking 2 to 3 20 to 30-minute naps in the morning and early afternoon. This rounds you up to a total of about 4 to 6 hours of sleep every day, and this could definitely sustain you through a harder periods and would be more recommended. Lastly, the triphasic sleep schedule involves shorter periods of sleep that happen after dusk and before dawn, so in the nighttime, and then again in the early afternoon. This means that you sleep for about 90 minutes to 120 minutes, or an hour and a half to 2 hours in 2 phases, so you get to do the total about 4 to 5 hours of sleep with this pattern. This is super common for people during Ramadan, where they have a little sleep after last meal and before prayer, and then again in the afternoon before they break their fast. Any of these 3 would work well, and it basically just depends on your schedule, your timing, and your availability in which one I think you should test out first. Now, you might be wondering, is this even effective? Well, reports and research have claimed that the polyphasic sleep schedule can really increase your productivity, your memory, and your learning. Now, this is especially true for the non-traditional workload people that have shift work and messed up schedules. And it's important to know that these results were made with comparing the people who did the polyphasic sleep schedule with other people who were getting less than 4 hours of sleep. So while it might still be most beneficial to do a monophasic or a biphasic sleep schedule, then polyphasic has some benefits over not sleeping at all. So what is the lesson here? The lesson is here that there are ways to get around busy time and times where you have a broken sleep schedule. You can customize it to your current responsibilities and obligations, and you can actually work around it. As we've covered many times before, sleep is also something that can be trained and worked on. And while you might want to use some of the ways that we've mentioned in this blog post, there are some other things that you as a night shift worker and a working parent can do to improve your sleep. And here are the 3 most important things. The first thing you have to do, even if you're going to do a polyphasic sleep schedule, is to make your environment super favorable for sleeping. This means sleeping in a cozy bedroom, keeping the lights completely blacked out, no signs of lights in the room, getting the room cold, and using your favorite blanket, your pillows, something with tactile stimulation that soothes you to kind of get into the sleep mode. And number 2 is eliminate all distractions. Avoid doing any activities besides from resting to your bedroom. Obviously, there are sometimes used for other things, but mainly rest in your bedroom. Make sure to disconnect from your phone, place it outside. Once you have checked into your bedroom is only meant for rest, relaxation, and sleep. The third one is to aim for a healthier lifestyle. If you have a super unhealthy lifestyle, if you're not exercising, falling asleep and staying asleep can actually be really hard. An unhealthy lifestyle, a heavy shift work, and an unhealthy diet is basically a recipe for disaster. So even if you're working shift and have an irregular schedule, make sure to include some walking, healthy nutrition. Start small and grow from there, but pivot your lifestyle in the healthier direction. Where to start? You have to start by identifying a possible solution for you. So if you found out which one you would like to try, a biphasic or one of the polyphasic sleep schedule, then you have to start testing it out in your real life. Remember, when it comes to sleep, it's not enough to do it once and then decide if it works for you. You're gonna have to give it 7 to 14 days to allow your body to get into the routine before you can decide if this is a good solution for you. Make sure to review, tweak, and implement your strategies as you go along, and continue to doing so until you find the best sleep schedule for you. Now, thank you so much for tuning in. If there's one thing I can leave you with, it's this. Make sure to start taking tiny, small, imperfect action, something that maximum takes you 5 minutes, but make sure to do it now while you're feeling motivated. I hope you found your answer on your next step on your journey in this episode. Make sure to check out my website for more information about sleep, and I'll see you next time.